All right.
Let's do it.
Well, Karen, welcome to Drunk Comics.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, where are you from? And you also have to tell us where you're currently residing, because those are two different answers.
Yes, that's true. So I'm from the United States originally. I was born in Nevada, but I lived all over. I've been to every state. Um, and now I'm living in the Netherlands, near a town called Arnhem. I live in Velp, actually, but if you've seen the movie A Bridge Too Far, that's where I am, near the bridge. Yeah.
You're a bridge too far? All right. And
Not that far. I could see it out the window.
how did you get into comics and superheroes?
So comics for me started when I was really little. My mom would buy me the like Casper the Ghost comics from the grocery store, like the little individual issues. And then of course, the 90s X-Men cartoon. That's what like dragged me in. As we can see, we are both representing our sides. But yeah, that was what got me into like, real comics.
I mean,
superhero comics, I guess.
That was a good gateway drug.
Oh man, that was like na 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 na. Like it's
Nana.
I mean, like that was my ringtone for years, and actually, I should put it back on my phone.
I love it.
That's amazing. It's the greatest.
And what are we here to talk about today?
Well, we are here to talk about Ze Amazing Nightcrawler. It was the worst German accent ever. Yes, I'm so glad you have that.
Me too.
We are here to talk about Nightcrawler, who is, I don't know, I feel like he's not underrepresented in the Marvel universe, but I feel like he's always put off on the side a little bit and kind of overshadowed by everybody, and I've never understood why. I mean, he's fabulous.
I agree. I think it's because they're, as much as the X-Men comics tackle the biases, they're still biased against the non-humanoid looking characters.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. But like that was actually like one of the reasons why I really got into him when I was younger, because I was like, okay, he doesn't look human. He's cool. Like graphic wise, like for an artist's point of view, I think drawing him must be like just so much fun because he can do all these like acrobatic poses. He's got the tail, he just looks like he comes off the page, And I used to draw my favorite pages when I was little, like the comics, and I was always drawing Nightcrawler because he just like, he could like move like this, and everybody else is just kind of like, the Cyclops stare or whatever. And Nightcrawler's flipping around.
That's a good point. I love that.
I mean, when I was little, I used to collect comics that just had Nightcrawler on the cover, regardless of whether he was in it. And half the time, he actually isn't even in the book, or maybe he's like in one little like
advertising.
That's
false advertising.
It really is, but he looks so good on the covers. If you look at the Nightcrawler covers, I mean, they're really cool. And he actually gets quite a few sexy covers as well. I mean, he gets a lot of makeout covers for a guy who becomes a priest.
Okay, I'm gonna Google some and put them in.
I mean, there's one where he's making out with like Amanda Sefton, weird sort of stepsister. There's one where he makes out with Cerise from the Shi'ar. I think there's even one where he's like, really like face on with like Storm. Oh, it's weird.
Get it, Nightcrawler. Yeah. I mean, they kind of hinted at him and Storm in the movies, so.
And there's a friend of mine who's going to be watching this, and he's going to say, she's going to bring up the X-Men movies, and I can't stand them. And I love the X-Men movies. Like, I know, I understand the bias. I understand why people don't like them compared to like the MCU, but honestly, that opening scene in the White House with Nightcrawler was like cinematic genius when it came out. I mean, I'm like teenager sitting in the movie theater like, amazing. Amazing.
I will say I have a love-hate relationship with those movies, but that opening scene, fire.
I mean, like you could just watch that scene over and over again.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I can't say love hate because like I love the X-Men so much, but like I have even watched that really bad X-Men show from the 90s with that lady who was on that like that HGTV show. She was Emma Frost. I can't even remember her name, but she was on that like What Not to Wear show or whatever. I even watched that. I mean, it was so bad, but I just love the X-Men. So
Me too.
yeah.
Obviously.
So you know who you are out there watching X-Men movies. Okay.
Comment here.
Yes.
Bring us your heated debate about
Next episode, we can talk about MCU versus the Fox shows, movies.
So tell me about Nightcrawler. Like, let's get into it.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't know about what you think, but I think one of the greatest things that the X-Men creators decided was making Mystique Nightcrawler's mother. I mean, stroke of genius, because honestly, she had like a super teeny tiny part, and then all of a sudden they're like, she's Nightcrawler's mom, and then it was like, boom. You know, all of a sudden Mystique was like cool then and had all this like interesting backstory. But I know I was hinting at this before. Mystique originally was not supposed to be his mom. She was going to be his dad because she's like no, I'm serious. Like originally, you can look this up. Originally, because Mystique has the ability to shapeshift, they were going to have her shapeshift into a man, and she was going to be Nightcrawler's father, and Destiny was supposed to be his mother. And then, of course, that whole storyline kind of got revamped into Rogue. And then Nightcrawler's father ended up being Azazel instead. But yeah, Mystique was almost his dad, but not.
Interesting. Who's your daddy, Nightcrawler?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't even really know.
There's Mystique and Destiny basically are a couple in comics. If it's not overtly stated, it's pretty subtext.
And I think that's part of the reason why I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I feel like that's part of the reason why they decided not to do that with Nightcrawler, because then it would be like, at the time, like blatantly saying these two are in a relationship, which boo on them. They should have just been like, let's do it. But I think it worked out. It made sense that his dad looked like Azazel, so.
Yeah, okay.
I guess.
We'll give you that, Marvel, but
it would have been an interesting twist.
Yeah, fine.
Alas.
At least Rogue has two mommies.
Yes, and she does, absolutely. I don't know. I've never read Rogue as any other way, really. And that's one thing that should have been in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The movie screwed the pooch hard with Rogue, so
yeah,
that's another episode.
Yeah, Rogue, movie Rogue, that's a whole nother conversation.
And it sucks because Anna Paquin is awesome and deserves better.
You know, I really liked her Rogue. I mean, it was totally different than what you got from like the 90s cartoon or from even the comics. But I thought she brought like a depth to the character that you didn't really get to see as she was younger, you know. I mean, that's a weird thing about like the comic book characters is the women always look like they're 35, but they're actually 14.
That's true. I will say I would love to see Anna Paquin play Rogue now.
Yes.
And play like a more comic canon Rogue.
That would be awesome.
We won't get it, but that's my dream cast.
That would be fabulous. That would be, I would like that. Actually, kind of, I really liked the, did you see X-Men Evolution? The cartoon?
No.
Okay, so Nightcrawler has a huge part in that, and Rogue has a huge part in it, because they're both kind of, and they touch on this relationship between Mystique and Destiny, and Rogue and Nightcrawler as being kind of like this weird blended family thing, and like they're kids, they're students, they kind of find out as like the cartoon goes along, and I think they actually handled it really well.
Interesting.
And it was fun just because it was like, you know, you're seeing Nightcrawler when he's like 13, 14, which you don't really get that in the comic books. He's already kind of like an X-Men when he enters. He's already an adult. So that was kind of a fun, you should check it out.
I will.
I think it was fun. Yeah. But like for me, I got into Nightcrawler mostly, so I saw him in the cartoon when I was little. I'm like, this guy's, you know, weird. And then when I'd go to the comic book store and be like, I just wanted to see things with Nightcrawler on it, my local comic book guy was like, well, then you need to read Excalibur, which is just a trip. I mean, that's weird. That is a weird series. I don't know.
Which with comics, the weirder the better. Like,
I mean, it was strange. It was like, we have Nightcrawler in the X-Men. He was kind of, I don't know, in the beginning, I feel like he was kind of weird in the X-Men because he was like the outsider. The X-Men were all really heavy. You know, it was heavy, like drama, a lot of like, I don't know, relationship dynamics and just like politics and all that kind of thing. And then Nightcrawler came in and he was just like, swashbuckling, hello, I'm a ladies' man, but not. And it was just like always fun and upbeat. And then like they gave him Excalibur where he could be like really Errol Flynn, like he was just like wild, swashbuckling, crazy. And those comics were kind of more like Doctor Strange with like this weird occult things from other planets, and I don't know, I don't know, like there was one whole comic book issue where like the entire team of Excalibur, including Nightcrawler, turned into dinosaurs. And they were dinosaurs, like, but they were X-Men, but like the X-Dinosaurs or something. I don't know.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
I mean, it's bizarre, but like, I don't know. Like in the beginning, he's like, and like, of course, as it, like, I think it was supposed to be like lighthearted fun. And then of course, when the original writers kind of bowed out of Excalibur and they gave it to other people, it got darker, like the X-Men.
Because we gotta be
you know it's dark when Nightcrawler shows up with a soul patch. Like, what is that? What was that?
He's going through some shit, man.
I mean, yeah, he's like, one day Nightcrawler wakes up and he's like, I am buzzing my haircut and I'm getting a soul patch. And somehow Kitty Pryde didn't even notice. I'm just like, what?
Was she too busy mooning over someone named Pete?
Yeah, anybody named Pete? Like, which was so weird.
Back to Nightcrawler.
Yes.
For the uninitiated Nightcrawler, why don't you give us a rundown of Nightcrawler's backstory?
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner. So he was born in Germany. He was raised by what was her name? Margali? Her name is really hard. She's kind of like, he thought she was just like a regular gypsy woman, but she ended up being like some sorceress with like really crazy powers. He was raised by her, and then he grew up in the circus, of course. Mm-hmm. Acrobat, trapeze, became the famous Nightcrawler in Germany. Unknown to him, of course, Mystique is his mom. Azazel's his dad, who she didn't even admit that she was married to some other dude at the time, some baron or something. Of course, so she like has this baby and it's blue, you know, and so her like baron husband is like, you lied to me, and then she doesn't want to like be burdened by a child. She throws poor Nightcrawler like off a cliff, and like I think it's unlimited, and she's just like, I didn't want to be a mother anyway. I'm like, you just threw your baby off a cliff. Luckily, it's Nightcrawler, so of course he survives.
Maternal.
Yeah, no. So weird. But yeah, so he grows up in the circus and then, you know, ends up joining the X-Men, has this weird love affair with his stepsister, becomes a priest, which I
Wait,
thought
who's
was a
his stepsister?
So his stepsister is Amanda Sefton, who is Day Tripper. I think she's Day Tripper.
Okay.
So she was like also adopted by the weird sorceress lady, and they were raised together at the circus. And Nightcrawler was always, they were raised as brother and sister, but he was always like, I always loved her. She was always my heart. Weird. Yeah. And then she would keep popping up. Like she popped up in like Excalibur every once in a while. And she popped up in some of the Nightcrawler, like, you know, origin like issues. And it's like, they have this weird love affair, and then she runs off because she's dealing with things in another dimension. And he's like, well, I'm going to become a priest now. Yeah, really weird. His love life is strange. And the only one that I actually really like, I kind of like the Cerise thing, but she's like from an alien, so she was never really gonna stay on Earth with him. The only relationship I kind of liked wasn't even 616. It was like when he was with Scarlet Witch, and then had his daughter in the alternate timeline.
Ooh.
Yeah, who is cool. I like the Nightcrawler's daughter, Nocturne. She's quite cool.
Interesting.
And that was a cool storyline because, like, I think in her, my sister was really big on this comic, so she's gonna like totally watch this and correct me. But in her timeline, I think he dies, her real father, and then she travels to like the 616 timeline because she can teleport like interdimensionally, and she's like involved with Blink, so they do that kind of thing. And I think then she like meets the original Nightcrawler, and they like build a father-daughter relationship together. Which is like really sweet. And I think that was a really great thing for them to do. So I think that really, he's an interesting character because I don't know, I think this is one of the reasons why I really liked him. He obviously throughout the entire X-Men series, he struggles with the way he looks. He gets that like image inducer thing where he can look like a normal person, and he like struggles with how he looks and how he interacts with people, and he puts on this like guise of I'm happy, I'm fun, I'm a swashbuckler, I'm flirtatious, but like then when he gets his own issues where it's just him, he's just like, how do I reconcile my faith with my history, my mom throwing me off a cliff, I'm into my stepsister, all these crazy things, and like this. You can see these undertones of like dealing real emotions that, I think everybody either themselves, like, I don't know, I was kind of one of those kids who was like pretending to be happy all of the time. And on the inside was just like, roller coaster as well. I think I saw that in Nightcrawler when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, Nightcrawler is going through some stuff too. Like, I don't know. So it's interesting. And then when he actually decided to like devote himself to the priesthood, I thought that was an interesting move. Which of course, I mean, obviously afterwards he's having more love affairs. So I assume that kind of.
Yeah, you can't really be a priest and.
I think, yeah, I guess he kind of gave up on it. I don't remember an issue where he was like, I'm done with this, but in one episode he was like, being ordained, or episode in one issue he's being ordained, and then in the next he's like macking on his stepsister again. So I don't know.
I think that explains why he and Wanda hooked up, because they can kind of relate to being into a sibling.
Well, I clearly have a lot of love for the Maximoff family. We'll have to go there another time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think
too. And Magneto has a lot of good points.
So like Magneto is, I'm going to say this for our friend Diane out there. She already knows. Magneto is my favorite Marvel character. He is my absolute favorite. But I just think of like, oh, I wonder what it would have been like if Magneto shows up to Scarlet Witch's wedding with Nightcrawler. That would have been quite interesting, I think. Yeah, because that would mean the Nightcrawler's daughter is Magneto's granddaughter.
Ooh.
Well, I need to just put that together. And now I like the family even more. Now I'm into it. I'm like,
I always love to say that comics is a soap opera, but X-Men especially is a soap opera, and I just love the
It is. And
family tree. That's what I'm doing here with my weird
what is this? What are we doing?
family tree.
Oh yeah. Family, let's talk family. Like yeah, it is a soap opera. It is, because not only is it like, oh, and now so and so is having a baby with so and then oh, and so is gay, and oh, so and so died, and then of course they come back again. Nightcrawler, he's died like twice, I think.
Yep. And so and so has a twin, an evil twin we didn't know about.
Evil twins. We all have those, right?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna see my evil twin after this class.
I'm pretty sure I am my own evil twin.
No, I'm scared. What else is great about Nightcrawler? Oh, the little Bamps. The little guys. I don't even remember how he got them, but all of a sudden he like, so in the beginning he could only teleport like to places he knew, like places he had seen before, right? So otherwise he'd like end up in a wall or something. Or in some like weird other dimension. But like something happened in that world that he teleports between, where he suddenly gets these little Bamf creatures, and they look like him, but they're like little anime versions of him that are like cherubic, like little tiny. Find a picture, add a picture of them. Yeah. They're really cute, and then like they like can like travel through this like interdimensional portal place that he bamps through, and like so they can go ahead of him and see something that he can't see, and then he just can follow them after whatever. So now in the canon he can like teleport anywhere as long as he's got these little like chibi Nightcrawlers with him. Like they look like little chibi Nightcrawlers, and I hope that if you edit this you add them like kind of dancing around my head or something.
Yes.
Because they're really cute, and I feel like I need one for my desk now.
I was gonna say I want one now.
Yeah, they're so cute. Actually binge read like, I think it's a 2014 Nightcrawler series. Lot of like sister loving drama in that one if you want to like read that. But yeah, and then that weird love affairs in that. Anyway, when it's like he comes back from life, back from death, like he comes back from heaven, and like it's now Jean Grey's school for the gifted, and all this weird, he doesn't know what's going on, and oh, but my stepsister is still alive, yay, kiss kiss kiss, and then somebody else, kiss kiss kiss. It's a lot of weird like kissing and flipping and swashbuckling and chibi Nightcrawler. So you should read that if you're into a lot of weird.
So now we need to come up with a saying. Once you go blue, you won't know what to do. I don't know. That's bad.
Your life is a zoo? I don't know.
Once you go blue.
There's nothing left to do.
There you go.
There's no one left to do. I don't know.
Maybe
great.
Silver Kelly will help us out and scroll something down there. Drunk Kelly likes to volunteer Sober Kelly for things like this, and then Sober Kelly's like, "Fuck you, Drunk Kelly. I don't want to do this work."
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so since we're talking about Nightcrawler, sort of. What did you think? What do you think about the new Nightcrawler? Cody Scott McPhee in the new ones, the new movies. Did you like?
He wasn't really there.
Totally different than all the Nightcrawlers. Like all the Nightcrawlers is that he was just like totally different, I thought.
Yeah. I feel like I'm so partial to the original movie Nightcrawler that, yeah, he didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I feel like, and you'll have to watch it and let me know if you think. I feel like they tried to take what was done in the X-Men Evolution cartoon with like teenage Nightcrawler, and then they tried to transfer it to the new old X-Men, the new like timeline. And yeah, it didn't really work for me either. It worked for me in the cartoon, but I think it's because the setting was different. Of course, it's a cartoon. But yeah, he didn't have that like, you know, Nightcrawler is supposed to be fun and flirtatious and like he's outgoing and exuberant on the outside, and he was a little too sad, I think.
I know.
Sad Nightcrawler. Yeah.
I just hope that when the mutants show up in the MCU, we see something better.
I hope we see, I don't really know what I hope we see, because I'm not really sure that I believe they're actually going to enter the MCU. Like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Same here. Also, I would love to see something other than the group that got so much focus.
Well,
like enough of Wolverine and the Wolverine Cyclops Jean Grey triangle. Let's focus on some other characters, because there's a lot of X-Men that either haven't seen live action or
I feel like they tried to do that with the New Mutants movie. They're like, oh, let's see if we can, and like, I know everybody hates that movie. Like, I get it. I love the New Mutants comic series. That was actually that was probably my second favorite comic series growing up, because I really liked the New Mutants. The movie for me, I was like, I want to be like, I give you props for trying something different.
Is there anything else you want to say about Nightcrawler?
I mean, he's just amazing.
And he deserves better.
He does deserve better. Like, I want to see a series with Nightcrawler, an issue or anything where, you know, he gets real like focus. Not just because he's, you know, God-fearing, and not just because he's funny, but something like really honest, or just another really good bromance with Wolverine issue where they're sitting drinking beer.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Also, now is a good time to tell me about your book.
Oh, yes. So I have a book coming out, and it's called Where Ravens Roost. It's a Scandinavian. I can't even. My head. It's got these birds in it. Let me just show you. So here it is, Where Ravens Roost. It's a Scandinavian crime thriller about a police detective who returns to his family home in the north of Sweden, where his father, estranged father, Alzheimer's, claims to have witnessed a murder. But there's no body, no evidence, and the local police are refusing to investigate.
So definitely.
And it comes out digitally on ebook February 17th of this year, so in a couple of weeks. The paperback and audiobook April 15th from HQ Digital, which is an imprint of HarperCollins. So exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and there are a lot of ravens in it, so if you like ravens, if you like family drama, if you like snow settings, north of Sweden, nothing but snow and creepy trees, this is the book for you.
Yes, definitely check it out. I can attest to Karin being an amazing writer.
Thank you.
I think it's my seal of approval. So cheers. Yes. Thank you again.
Thank you.